Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, thrivers to Ridwanullah. All praise and thanks are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our creator, our owner and sustainer. And may the peace and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon the most esteemed leader and most honorable teacher, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his family, his companions, and those who follow him until the day of judgment. Allahumma ameen. Jazakallahu khair for tuning in to another episode of Thrivers to Ridwanullah TV, where we hope to connect you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so you can witness your wildest business and life dreams come true. And I am your host, motivator and coach, Hussein Muhammad. And in the previous episode, we talked about the three categories of relationships. And in this episode, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will be talking about the specific impact that these three relationships has on you and how you could effectively deal with these relationships. So if you've been struggling with different relationships in your life, whether that's personal or professional, with your business or work, with your community or elsewhere, with your family, in any case, this is the right episode for you by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For me personally, knowing about these types of relationships now has helped me out a great deal, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, because now I know where to invest my energy and effort wisely. Because, I've learned to disconnect myself from the negative and toxic individuals and kind of learn how to manage the neutral people and just, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, get to that level where we can mutually respect each other. But that third category of individuals who have so much benefit in them that they like to share that benefit with you and are so knowledgeable about it, those are the types of individuals that we want to get close to and we want to benefit from and work with by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one thing I would like to make clear, very, very clear, is disconnecting does not mean cutting ties, right? Because in Islam, it is not good to cut ties, especially with your kinship, with your family, let alone anybody else. So for me personally, even with the individuals that I closely work with and coach on a personal basis, over the phone, over the internet, wherever it may be, I've kind of learned that they are dealing with toxic relationships and toxic individuals, just as I've dealt with toxic relationships and toxic individuals. And me personally, I've been a toxic relationship and a toxic individual in certain areas of my life. And I have a beautiful story to share with you that'll explain to you, how to be patient with certain individuals in certain relationships. Because that is the area that I've been studying for quite a long time now. It's mainly the pure soul, which is basically the spirituality, the relationships and emotions of individuals, and how to effectively manage that and get to that level where, you're not being held down by these relationships. You're managing it effectively to a point where you can get to that next level without missing a beat. Even though it's not an easy situation, it's not an easy task to go through. There's a lot of things that need to happen in between and a lot of trial and error, So it is important to understand these things. To know the three categories of relationships and how to effectively manage that. So, there's many ways that you could do it. I'll share with you what I've experienced and the way I've learned to deal with these types of relationships. Personally, my journey has been, very, very rough, right? Life doesn't come easy. And that's why, I'm hungry and driven to be able to come share these videos with you guys so I can help at least one individual not experience, the pain, the struggle that we go through on a daily basis. So if only one person could understand the message that I'm here to deliver today, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, I have achieved my goal, and I hope that is you who's listening and taking lessons and learning and sharing by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for me personally, my journey has been that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed me to be a coach. So by helping other people overcome these toxic relationships and people, I was able to reflect on my own life and see, am I being a toxic relationship? Am I being a toxic person in my relationships? And, what type of benefit am I giving to myself and my family and my friends and community? So the first lesson that I could share with you is, help other people overcome their relationship and emotional issues, right? Because that is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows you to make the next shift in your life, and you'll start to see certain things in your emotions and relationships that you can improve. And, the second thing is to really focus on what you really want in life, right? Because for me personally, I've been trying to figure out a way to build success in this life and in the hereafter. And when I really decided to go after what I really wanted to do, which is basically the Thrivers to Ridwanullah enterprises and doing the speaking and coaching and training, I was able to take this a little bit more seriously and see, the individuals who are supporting me with my dreams and the haters that are pulling me back and trying to undermine what I'm planning on building by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you will have those types of individuals in your relationship. So when you're truly going after what you really want, you'll start to see it even more clearly. The individuals that are in your lives either motivating you or holding you back and taking you from the success that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has planned for you. And the last but not least is, every single day learn and grow from your experiences. One day you might have a successful relationship and emotions, and you're managing these three categories of people effectively. And the next day, you might be slipping and you're not effectively managing these different categories. And that stops you from achieving the level of success that you want. So, remember to not confuse disconnecting emotionally with cutting ties. Because you can disconnect emotionally from individuals, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to cut ties with these individuals. You still go and visit. You still hang out and give time, especially if they are family, and let alone if they are friends. So give proper attention and time accordingly, and invest your resources and resourcefulness according to the types of relationships that you have. The final thing that I want to share with you is this amazing story that I've read a couple of years back, and that I reread now, that kind of motivated me to share these insights with you. And it's basically the story of a father and his 4 sons. And this father was smart because he was trying to teach his sons a very, very important lesson. And that lesson is not to judge too quickly. So the father had a mission for each of his sons in different times. So in winter, he told one of his sons to go out to a particular tree somewhere a little bit farther than the village that they lived in, and to come back and explain to them what he saw. And then the sun came back. Then he sent the second son during spring to see, to look at the tree and come back and tell the father and the sons what he saw. And then he sent the other son during summer to go out and see the tree and then come back and let them know what he saw. And then he sent the fourth son during fall to go see the tree and come back and let them see, explain to them what he saw. So after that whole journey and all of the sons came back together, now the father gathered them together and asked the first son that he sent during winter, and he asked him, what did you see? He said, I saw a tree that was bent and had no leaves and was basically looked like it was about to die. And the second, he asked the second son, before he even asked him, started disagreeing. He's like, no, what are you talking about? I went and saw a beautiful tree, right? Because this son went during the spring, right? When life started to grow into this tree. And he's like, I saw a tree that had life started. I saw a tree that life was barely started to be breathed into it. And it started to grow these vegetations and these leaves, right? And it had promise and potential. And then the third son jumped in. He's like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I saw a full-grown tree that was so beautiful and complete, looked amazing, and had the most ripe fruits and vegetation. And then the fourth son came in and he's like, what are you guys talking about? I saw a tree that the leaves were starting to fall and so many things started changing, and it looked like it was on its way down. It didn't look promising at all, and there was so much life being drained out of this tree. And the father looked at all four of his sons and said, every single one of you is right. So the lesson that I wanted to teach you guys was not to judge prematurely of what that tree looked like. And similarly, do not judge so quickly. Do not judge people so quickly, because human beings go through these 4 seasons, and it's something amazing, because you need to be patient with yourself. You need to be patient with your family members. You need to be patient with everyone else, right? Because you go through your own winters. And spring comes around and you're vibrant with life. And summer hits and your life is at its peak. And then fall comes. Now you're back to the gray moods. And then you're in your winter again all of a sudden, where life is just a struggle. And similarly, other people are going through the exact same thing. And it is very, very important to be patient with people who are going through their winters. Be patient with them and encouraging with them. And the least you could do is do not discourage them. Because sooner or later, spring will come around for them. Then in no time they'll be in their summer. And then they'll see their fall. And then they see their winter. And it's back up to the spring. It is important to know which season everybody's in, which season you're in. And be patient with each other. Do not lose hope. Do not lose hope in yourself. Do not lose hope in your family. Do not lose hope in your spouse and children. Do not lose hope in your family members. Do not lose hope in your community. Do not lose hope in anybody. Everybody has a chance to shine. And that is what we are here to do, is to be that shining light for somebody else. And for them to be that shining light for us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be amongst those individuals who lead the way to a beautiful and successful life in this life, so we may be able to achieve that and better in the hereafter. I want to know what you took away from this lesson, and what stories do you have to share, and what other lessons can you add on to this? Please share on the comments below. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the ability to see the different seasons that we're going through and our loved ones are going through, and how we could all help each other get through these tough times and enjoy the prosperous times. In any case, not disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and always seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you've liked these videos, please like and share these videos with your family and friends, and I would greatly appreciate it. And subscribe to our mailing list. You know, we will give you some exclusive content, and you'll be on the insider list where you'll get the first information to everything that we're doing here at Thrivers Ridwanullah Enterprises. And we would like to help you connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so you can witness your wildest business and life dreams come true. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم وهو البر الكريم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.